I never thought something like this could happen to me. Hell, I always considered stories about sons-in-law falling for their mothers-in-law to be vulgar jokes. And now I couldn't stop thinking about Katherine. Everything changed a month ago. Emily and I were renovating, and her mother came to help. I walked into the kitchen and saw Katherine standing on a ladder, painting the ceiling. Her t-shirt had risen slightly, revealing a strip of tanned skin. A drop of paint fell on her cheek. "Ethan, hand me a tissue," she asked. I passed her the tissue, our fingers touched, and it was like I'd been struck by lightning. For the first time, I looked at her not as a mother-in-law, but as a woman, a beautiful woman. "Is something wrong?" she asked, noticing my gaze. "No, just you have paint on your cheek." Since that day, everything went sideways. I caught myself searching for her with my eyes whenever she visited, listening for her voice, noticing what perfume she wore. Before, I was cool towards Katherine. A typical domineering mother-in-law always knows best, always has an opinion. But now I saw a different person in her. A smart, interesting woman who had blossomed after her divorce, started taking care of herself, began a new life. "You've been acting strange lately," Emily said yesterday. "Just tired, work." "Maybe we should invite Mom for dinner. She says she misses us." "Misses us?" I caught my heart beating faster. "Sure," I replied, trying to keep my voice indifferent. "Why not?" And now we're preparing for a family dinner. I stand in front of the mirror, choosing a shirt, and hate myself for thinking about which one she'll like better. My phone chirped, a message from Katherine. "I'll buy wine on the way, red or white." Before, such a message would have been ordinary. Now I'm reading it several times, imagining her lips on the glass. To hell with it, I tell my reflection. Stop this. But I already know I won't, because every time I think about her, something turns over inside, and that scares me most of all. Katherine arrived at 7, wearing a navy blue dress that perfectly emphasized her figure. I noticed her new haircut short hair revealing her neck. "Mom, you look amazing," Emily hugged her. "Thank you, sweetie. Ethan helped with the wine." I took the bag, trying not to touch her hands. She smelled of some flowers, new perfume. The dinner started casually. Emily talked about work. Katherine shared news about her business. She had recently opened a small gallery. After the second glass of wine, the atmosphere became more relaxed. "You know," Katherine said, looking at me, "I was actually against your marriage at first." "Mom!" Emily protested. "What? It's true. Thought he was too serious, too proper for my girl. But now I see I was wrong." Our eyes met. Were those sparkles in her eyes from the wine or something else? "I'll go get dessert." Emily stood up. "I'll help." Katherine rose too. No, sit. Ethan will help." I followed my wife to the kitchen. She took the cheesecake from the refrigerator. "Bring more wine," Emily requested, "and keep an eye on Mom. She's drinking a lot tonight." I returned to the dining room. Katherine stood by the window. "Beautiful evening," she said. I moved closer. Her perfume was making my head spin. "New perfume? You noticed?" She turned to me. Too close. "Katherine." "Shh." She put her finger to my lips. "I see how you look at me." "I'm not." "Don't deny it. I feel it too." And suddenly we were kissing, hungrily, desperately, as if we'd been waiting for this forever. Her lips were soft, demanding. Her hand slipped under my shirt. "Cheesecake's ready!" Emily's voice from the kitchen made us jump apart. Katherine quickly fixed her hair. I took a sip of wine, trying to calm my wildly beating heart. Emily returned with dessert, unaware of what had just happened. "Mom, you're all red. Are you hot?" "A bit." Katherine avoided my gaze, probably from the wine. The rest of the evening passed in a fog. We talked about something, laughed, but I could only feel the taste of her lips on mine. When Katherine was leaving, she accidentally left her phone on the table, came back for it while Emily was in the bathroom. "Tomorrow," she whispered, retrieving the phone, "at 2, in my gallery." I nodded, hating myself for how badly I wanted that meeting. Katherine's gallery was located in an old building on the outskirts of town. "Closed for lunch," read the sign on the door. I nervously looked around before entering. Inside smelled of paint and coffee. "I thought you weren't coming." Katherine emerged from the back room. "I shouldn't have come." "But you did." She came closer. In the daylight, streaming through the tall windows, I noticed the wrinkles around her eyes. But they only added to her charm. "We need to talk about yesterday," I began. "We do." She ran her finger across my chest. "Or..." The next thing I remember, her back pressed against the wall, my lips on her neck, her fingers in my hair. We kissed like teenagers, forgetting everything. "Wait," she breathed. Not here. We climbed the narrow stairs to her office, a small room with a couch and a desk. What happened next was like a trance. Her skin smelled of flowers. Her lips were sweet from lipstick. We dissolved into each other, forgetting about time, morality, everything in the world. Afterward, we lay on the couch, trying to catch our breath. What are you thinking about? She asked. That I'm the worst scum. Why? Because I just cheated on my wife with her mother. She sat up, started buttoning her blouse. Do you regret it? I should, but no. Me neither, she turned to me. You know, I never thought at my age you could feel something like this. Like what? Butterflies in your stomach, weak knees, wanting to see someone so badly it hurts to breathe. I understood what she meant. I felt the same way. This became the beginning of our secret meetings. The gallery, motels on the outskirts of town, once even her house when she was sure the neighbors were away. Every meeting started with, "We need to stop this," and ended in passionate embraces. Every time we promised ourselves it was the last time, and every time we couldn't resist. How's your gallery? Emily asked at dinner. Great, Katherine smiled. Ethan even stopped by the other day. Really? Emily looked at me surprised. You didn't mention it. Just passing by, I carefully avoided Katherine's gaze, decided to drop in. That evening she wrote to me, Miss you. Can you make it tomorrow? And I replied yes, though I knew. With each meeting, we were sinking deeper into an abyss from which there was no escape. You've changed, Emily said one morning, become kind of distant. Just lots of work. The familiar lie rolled off my tongue automatically. It's not about work. You're different, happier maybe. I froze with a coffee cup in my hand. What do you mean? I don't know. You're like glowing from within, as if you're in love. If only she knew. That same day, I met Katherine in our usual motel. Emily suspects something, I said, lying on the bed. What exactly? Says I've changed, become happier. Katherine ran her finger across my chest. Are you happy? Yes, and it's killing me. Why? Because I shouldn't be happy cheating on my wife with her mother. She pulled away. So I'm just an affair to you? No. I pulled her close. You're everything to me, and that scares me most of all. We gave in to passion again, desperately, hungrily, as if it were the last time. Afterward, she smoked by the window, wrapped in a sheet. You know, she said, sometimes I imagine we could be together, for real. Don't. Why? Afraid to imagine? Afraid because I wanted too much. That evening I came home late. Emily was waiting in the living room. Where were you? At work. I called there. You weren't there. My heart skipped a beat. I was with a client. Strange. Our neighbor Gina says she saw your car near the shopping center. Damn, Katherine lives in that direction. Stopped for some shopping. Emily looked at me for a long time, then sighed. I don't know what's going on, Ethan, but I feel something's not right. That night I couldn't sleep, looked at my sleeping wife and felt guilt eating away at my soul. In the morning I wrote to Katherine, we need to talk, seriously. Her response came instantly. I know, come to the gallery. The gallery greeted me with unusual silence. Katherine sat at her desk, sorting through some papers. We have to stop this, I said, instead of greeting. We do. She didn't even look up. For the third time this month. I'm serious this time. You're always serious. She finally looked at me. And then you kiss me, and all the seriousness evaporates. Emily suspects something. I know. She called me yesterday, asking if I knew what was going on with you.
What did you say?
Lied. As always. She stood up, came closer. You know what's scariest? I'm starting to hate myself for this lie. Just yourself? No, but we both know I'm the one to blame. I'm older. I'm Emily's mother. I should have. Stop, I interrupted her. We're both adults. We're both guilty. She stood so close. The familiar scent of her perfume made my head spin. Don't, she whispered when I reached for her. You came to end this. Yes, but my hands were already sliding over her body, my lips seeking hers. One last time, she breathed. Last time, I agreed, unbuttoning her blouse. This really should have been the last time. We both understood that. Maybe that's why everything was especially intense, especially sensual. Afterward, we lay on the couch in her office for a long time. I love you, she suddenly said. Don't. Why, it's true. Because I love you too, and that only makes everything worse. She sat up, started getting dressed. You know what's funny? All my life I taught Emily to be honest, and now... At that moment, a door slammed downstairs. We froze. Mom, Emily's voice. Are you here? Quick, to the storage room, Katherine whispered, frantically buttoning her blouse. I barely managed to hide when footsteps sounded on the stairs. Mom, why aren't you answering? Sorry, sweetie, got caught up in work. Catherine's voice sounded almost normal. Why is there a closed sign? Was going through documents, didn't want customers interrupting. A pause? Then strange, I saw Ethan's car near the gallery. My heart stopped. Really? Catherine tried to feign surprise. Maybe someone has a similar one? No, Mom, it's definitely his car. I checked the plates. Silence. He's here, isn't he? Emily's voice trembled. Come out, Ethan, I know you're here. I came out. What was the point of hiding anymore? Emily looked at my wrinkled shirt, at her mother's disheveled hair. Tears were running down her cheeks. How long? 3 months, I answered. Why? Sweetie, Catherine began. Shut up, just shut up. Emily went to the window, stood there for a minute. You know what's funny? She turned to us. I've suspected for a long time. Saw the looks, noticed how you both change when you're around each other. Just didn't want to believe it. I'm sorry, I stepped toward her. Don't come near me, she recoiled. God, how could you? She looked at her mother. You taught me that family is sacred. I know, Catherine was crying. I ruined everything. No, Emily suddenly said. You know what? You both ruined everything, and you know what else? You're perfect for each other. 2 traitors. She headed for the door but stopped. The divorce will be in a month, and Mom, I don't want to see you again. Ever. The door slammed. We were left alone. What now? Catherine asked. I looked at her, beautiful, desirable, and suddenly realized it was all over. Nothing, I answered. Now nothing. A year has passed. I moved to another city, started a new life. Emily married again, to some surgeon. They say she's happy. Catherine sold the gallery and moved to Florida. Sometimes I see her posts on social media. She looks older, but still beautiful. We don't communicate anymore. But sometimes, on particularly lonely evenings, I take out my phone, find her number, and don't call. Because some stories are better left in the past, even if they break your heart. Did you like this story? Let us know in the comments what you liked. Subscribe to our storytelling podcast. Also, don't forget to like and ring the bell so you don't miss more interesting stories. See you soon.